Yo, what is going on, you barking balls? So today we're playing some games with Sableye Flapple. Now this has been a concept or a deck for a little while, but I think it really got quite a bit better with the release of Level Ball because it really helps us find our Flapples, which has always kind of been the problem with not just this deck with Flapple, but Flapple decks in general. Flapple, of course, with that Apple drop, and it is a stage 1, so we do need to evolve it from the Applin. But Apple drop, we can put 2 damage counters on one of our opponent's Pokemon, and then we shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into our deck. So the Applin goes back, the Flapple goes back, and then we try and search it out again and kind of repeat. But the problem is kind of getting them out initially and then searching them back out again has always been not extremely difficult, but not at the rate that the deck needs to be able to keep up with, or decks with Flapple to be able to keep up with, to actually get enough value out of the Flapples to warrant playing it. But with the release of Level Ball, I think that definitely has changed a little bit and has really made this deck better. Made it quite a bit better. I've been having a ton of fun with it recently. Obviously, it's not a new broken BDIF, but it's a super cool combo when you combo this with the Sableye with the Crazy Claws, which is 10 plus 60 for each damage counter on our opponent's active Pokemon. It does take double darkness energy though, so another card that got released that really helps out this specific Flapple deck is EXP Share. So now we can put EXP Share on our bench Sableye. We're looking to attack turn 2. We attack with that Sableye, the first Sableye we set up. EXP Share's on the bench Sableye. Attack with the first one, get our knockout. They knock us out, and then the EXP Shares trigger, and then we get energy onto our bench Sableye, and then all we need to do is attach return, and then the next Sableye can attack with the Crazy Claws and repeat from there. I also play some turbo patches in here because it's nice to have a little bit of extra energy acceleration. There's crushing hammers out there, yell grunts, stuff like that, and sometimes we whiff an attachment and we need to get a little bit of help to keep up. So turbo patches in here as well to help with the energy acceleration, getting the extra energy into play and stuff like that. And of course you have the main suspects in the supporter category. We got the 4 research, the 4 Marnie, the 2 boss, 4 turf field, of course, because it searches out that evolution grass Pokemon. Now I don't play Pokemon communication, even though it does combo very well with turf field, because I usually want to be holding the Pokemon I search into. We don't play a ridiculous amount of Pokemon, only the 15, and we need like 2 to 3 Sableye in play, and then as many Applins on the bench as possible. And then we even if we can't evolve the Flapples this turn, we want the Flapples in our hand to evolve on the next turn. So I'm still not a huge fan of Calm in this deck, even though, 15 Pokemon's not the lowest ever, and we do have the turf field in here, which always does combo very well with communication. But instead I'm going with the Great Ball route. I got the 4 Great Ball, 4 Quick Ball, and of course the 4 Level Ball that I talked so much about already, because they are just so good in this deck to help us find the Flapple line, so we can actually do damage with the Apple drops to get into the Crazy Claws from the Sableye V, and 1 Great Catcher as well. And that's the whole list. Got an Ordinary Rod in here as well. Couple switch. I don't play Air Balloon or U-turn board because we often have Sableyes on our bench with the EXP Share but no energy attached. So if our opponent just kind of is in a spot where they can't do a whole ton, or even want to try and stall us or hit something but not knock, or can't quite get a 1 KO, they could bring up our Sableye V that has an EXP Share and it could get trapped in the active. So that's why we have the switches in here. And sometimes we could hit like a Turbo Patch Heads and then attach, and that would also work, but that's not as reliable as just playing a switch. So 2 switch in here to give us some mobility, and it is a little bit better than Air Balloon or like a U-turn board. And now I think that's it. So let's go ahead and let's get into some games. All right, here we go again. This time our opponent went first, so we want to go second, so this is perfect for us. Can get off like a turn 1 load search, get the attached to the Sableye. Of course they could get a turn 2 hit KO on our Sableye, so we might want a new Sableye. It looks like they're playing Rapid Strike, so we need that Mew. That's gonna be a big deal if they get the turn 1 attachment. If they don't get the turn 1 attachment, it's not as big of a deal, but it looks like a Rapid Strike deck, which means they also can't 1-hit KO us next turn unless they play something like Zigzagoon or Dojo, but they're having a really slow start. I hate to help them out with the Marnie, but we're probably just gonna go ahead and do it. This does mean we don't have to play around the we don't need the Mew. We don't need Mew right now. It could be prize, so who knows. We don't need it right now, that's for sure. And we'll find out right here when we use this turf field. It's a very important card in the matchup, so it's very important for us to know. We did prize to Flapple. The Mew is in there. Now, pricing Flapple isn't as bad as pricing Applin, because you can always like put a Flapple back into the deck and then get it back out and re-evolve it. Okay, take this Flapple. This, and I'm gonna go with the load search for a Great Ball. May as well try and help us find that Mew, or even just like another Applin or something. The amount of times I've load searched for a Great Ball is actually super, super high with this deck. I do it so often. It seems like, actually, it's kind of insane. Yep, there we go. There is the Urshifu. Now they can't evolve it this turn, which gives us a ton of time to set up damage on it. Yeah, it gives us a ton of time to set up damage on it. That's basically it. We can set up so much damage on it We got so much time to do that. So that's going to be great for us. They might strafe us, I guess, and then that sets up for them for the 2-hit KO. So we'll probably get strafed this turn, but we're going to be able to set up a ton of damage on that with the Flapples, so that when it does come to the active as a VMAX, we can easily take it out and deal with it then. The only thing I'm like kind of concerned about is like finding Mew this turn, making sure we find the Mew. We're using a research. We got like 4 quick ball and 4 level ball left, none in the discard pile here, so it should be pretty reasonable for us to find the Mew. We know it's in the deck, we saw it there. So there's a Marnie top deck. I could go with the Marnie now. That is a fail on the Great Ball. I'm gonna go ahead and thin out the deck of this with the Turf Field. Yeah, 2 level ball prize. So we have 2 and 4, and then we could get a Great Ball, which could get the Mew, which is a little bit less likely. I do kind of want to save the Ordinary Rod, especially if they chase my Mew. So I think I will go with Marnie here. And I'm not going to shuffle these back in. Sometimes you want to shuffle them before you play the draw supporter to find the Applins again. But it's really important we find the Mew. We did find the Mew. It's so important we find the Mew that I think it's definitely worth it. It's better to play it out this way. And here we go. Apple drop here. And I'm going to go ahead and apple drop. I could just hold on to this apple drop actually with the EXP share here. It looks like I kind of have to get a Crobat. Yeah, let's go ahead and Crazy Claws. Yeah, we might have to get a Crobat next turn. Not guaranteed have to. We'll see what our prize card and our top deck give us. Level Ball's great, of course. Get more Applins. We want more than 2 Flapple in play. Like, we want to get like triple Apple in play, ideally, but it doesn't always work out that way. So we're not going to be able to 1-hit KO this next turn, but that's just fine. It's not that big of a deal that we don't get to do that. There's a Marnie, so that definitely saves us here a little bit. Could maybe put the other EXP shard on like the Mew, although that's not that great, to be honest. Sableye, Level Ball for an Applin. Sableye we can probably discard here. I can hold on to it, though. I don't have to discard it. I'll hold on to it for sure. We'll see, though. We'll see how it goes. Escape Rope. Huh. Well, I'm not going to lie. That is extremely annoying. I think I have to give up the Applin here. I could send up the Sableye, but we only have 1 switch in the deck, and the chance of me finding that is definitely not super high. So I think Applin has to be let go here. Gotta let Applin go. It's his time to go. Oh well. It's definitely not ideal to lose Applin here, but I also want to be able to attack next turn. So it also puts him on the odd prize card, so it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. Send back up the Sableye. And this time around, I will go with that apple drop before we play the draw supporter, because I definitely want to draw into the pieces, the apple or the Flapple, the Applin or the Flapple. Grab the Applin with this level ball. Throw that down. I'll go and throw down the Sableye because we're probably going to need 3 Sableye this game. I guess it's possible we don't, so maybe I could have held off on that, to be honest. Another out to Applin is great. Let's go ahead and use that right now. Grab a Flapple as well. This is looking pretty good. I'm going to attach to this Sableye. I'm going to go ahead and Crazy Claws. Yeah, we don't get the 1-hit KO, but we set up the 2-hit KO very cleanly here. Easy 2-hit KO here on this Urshifu. And now attaching here also, like, make sure that if they do play another Escape Rope, we could just send this up and be like, okay, we can attack. You know, let them make their choice, I guess, on how they want it to go. And we're not, even with 2, like, if they get up a new VMAX here, even with 2 Flapples, we actually can't 1-hit KO the, cannot 1-hit KO the, oh, and look at that. They went ahead and conceded. I guess the Sableye Flapple was just a little bit too strong for them. We get our dub. All right, here we go again. We did win the coin flip, so we chose to go second. The Crobat start is obviously not great, but the rest of the hand's really good, so it's, can't complain. Can't get it all. Can't get it all. We got to go second, which is the initial thing we wanted to get going here. So let's worry about that and start with that, which is great. We got to go second. And it looks like we're up against a Victini VMAX deck, which is pretty tough. They got a lot of HP on those Victini VMAXs, and well, they should have the Mew immediately here. Yeah, they got a lot of HP on the Victini VMAXs. That's basically it. A lot of HP. A lot for us to work through. We can get there. Just can be a little bit difficult sometimes. Here comes that Dead Change. It looks like they maybe wanted to bench the Mewtwo and then Dead Change a little bit too fast. So they might be... They also just didn't put a Hearth in play. But I guess without them knowing what I'm playing, maybe they don't want to put Hearth in play. That's also a possibility. I think we're going to try and get into Mew turn 1 here and just Mew ping the Victini. So I'll start with Level Ball. Grab Mew. Grab Applin. Quick Ball for Sableye. Applin. Quick Ball for Sableye. And then we're hoping to get an energy and an EXP share on to our Sableye. So if they KO the Mew, which they'll probably be able to, It's pretty easy for them to KO Mew. Yeah, we're gonna try and Psy Power turn 1, and if not, we could also Turbo Patch as well as a follow-up. So we got a couple different ways to follow up here. And we do need, I believe, what is it, 6, I think, on the Victini. If we have 5, oh no, it's 5, I think, actually, on Victini. So we just Psy Power 3 to the Victini here, I think. Should be fine. Yeah. Psy Power, 1, 2, 3. It should be 5. Yeah, 5 on the Victini should be enough to get the knockout with the Crazy Claws. If I did my math correctly in my head right here, which I think I did. And 4 would be a little bit too little. Yeah, so 5 should be the number. 5's the number. 1 for 5, so that's 1 Flapple. But the play I'm scared of here is that VMAX boss KO my Sableye. That would be horrendous for us. That would be terrible. That's why this matchup is so tough, because that play is what the Victini VMAX deck is like built to do. Do the boss up V Pokemon and knock them out with the VMAX. That's what they're trying to do all the time. That's literally their play. So hopefully they don't pull it off. Here comes the Deadly Change. Will they find the VMAX plus the boss? We'll have to find out. They are down 1 boss. Ooh, there's an escape rope. In this situation, I'm kind of fine with sending up an Applin, but I wouldn't mind sending up the Crobat as well to save the apples. Our EXP share won't trigger now, which is like the worst thing about this whole scenario. Maybe I'll just force them to have the VMAX. Like, all right, if you got the VMAX, you got the VMAX, but now you have to have the VMAX. Otherwise, you can't take the knockout, because if I send up the Applin, they can get the knockout with just that energy burst, which is that much worse for us. So we'll go like that and be like, all right, if you get the VMAX, you get the VMAX, right? You got it. Congratulations. But if you don't, you have to work a little bit harder. But now we have to get that. We do have to get that Turbo Patch Heads, theoretically, to actually get a knockout on the Victini on the next turn, because we did. They're not going to KO my Mew. They're not going to KO my Mew, so we do need a Turbo Patch Heads. So that's what we're going to play for, Turbo Patch Heads. We can actually retreat the Mew to try and get it as well. We would like to attack with the Mew, though, if not, though. So we'll see what our top deck is. We'll evolve to the Flapple. We'll play the Marnie, see what we draw into, but we do that as well. So I think I'm going to go Quick Ball away this. We're going to get another Sableye here. Level Ball for a Applin, because Applins are easier to find than the Flapples. Flapple here, Applin down, then play the Marnie. And if we do need to create a bench space for a Crobat, we can put this under. There's a Turbo Patch, so it's coming down to this Turbo Patch, basically. This Turbo Patch is huge. The energy's in the discard pile. Can we get a heads, please? Thank you very much. Love it. There, attach Turf Field. Turf Field out another Flapple. And we need 5 here, like I said, so we're going to go ahead and go with that Apple Drop front. And then we actually need more damage on this one as well. So we're going to go retreat, of course. Got the KO. Maybe I should have not evolved this to Flapple. Actually, quick balled the Flapple back for a 3 Applin in play, so I can go triple ping this if it becomes a VMAX instead. I think that's what I should have done. But I can do this now. I can go Apple Drop, and then I can quick ball for Crobat, and Crobat try and get back into an Applin. And I think I almost have to do that here. I should have done it the other way around and just got rid of a Flapple and that been fine with that. We have tons of ways to find Flapples. It's not that difficult to find the Flapples. But we do need the extra pings on this thing next turn. And if they want to go to their way to boss KO and Applin, that's fine, because it gives us like one more turn to work with to try and set things up. So it's really not that big of a deal. But I definitely should have done that a little bit differently and just ended up with triple Applin in play. And it's still the same scenario where if they chase an Applin, we can't get the KO next turn. But that's also just kind of fine. So should have played that a little bit differently. It's working out so far, though, overall. If they go into the VMAX here, we can go Flapple, Flapple. The EXP share will trigger if the KO are active, and we just need an attachment. The biggest thing to find would just be that energy, which we don't have in hand. We also don't have any draw support in hand, because I did lose that research, which I wouldn't have had to lose if I just quick balled the Flapple. I would have had the research in my hand to work with for this turn, and then still had the Crobat in the deck to work with later on. Now we do have this Ordinary Rod, which we can use to get the Crobat back, but that is not that is not what we want to do, because then we have to Great Ball, try and Great Ball RNG into it. I mean, we do have a decent amount of outs overall, but not the optimal to want to play our turnouts. However, we're still in, like I said, like a fine spot. We win this game if it just kind of goes our way. There's a Heat Train grab from my opponent. They can't do too much with that because they don't have the extra energy in play, so they actually can't GX attack knockout, but they could be going for something like energy burst or something, I guess. It could be what they're looking at here as or not energy burst, spreading flames, my bad, spreading flames, because them going to a VMAX here does mean we just win if we get those pieces. And we got a pretty big hand. They might play Reset Stamp. They might not. A lot of Victini decks just don't play Reset Stamp. So they might not be able to get that if they even play it. They would have to find it if they do play it. And it's not like a Senna Scorch, Jirachi Scoop Up Net build where they got the Stellar Wishes to like see that much deeper and find stuff like Reset Stamp. This build of the Victini decks, they just kind of hopefully hope to draw into it is basically their out here. Not having the access to that Stellar, which is definitely a big deal for like finding stuff like Reset Stamp. And there's just a pass from my opponent. Okay, so that's a Dark Energy top deck that's really good. Draw to Turf Field. I guess we're kind of playing slow for a little bit here then. Gonna go Flapple. I'm gonna use the Apple Drop. We could just KO our opponent's active Pokemon here in the Dene, or we could actually just set it up. We could almost go like Apple Drop, the Dene, and then I can go like Turf Field because I don't want to get stamped. If they do play the Reset Stamp, I don't want to get stamped lower theoretically. We can go like this as well, and then we can. So we could hit this for 100. We could just have 10 HP left if I hit it right now. So then I can just go like Apple Drop. This did anything. Plan to use Great Catcher on that. And then play Great Ball. Hopefully get an Applin. Perfect. And then we can Level Ball into an Applin as well. Applin there. Okay. Put these both back down. Attach here. I'm going to go ahead and Ordinary Rod and just grab Pokemon here. I doubt they play Tool Scrapper, so I'm just going to grab the Crobat. I don't even think I want the Flapple back in the deck, although it's not terrible to have in the deck, but I think, well, maybe, right? We do want to be able to hit it off a Great Ball or something. All right. And then, yeah, we're going to use Crazy Claws here and purposely not knock it out, just do 130 damage. Because next turn, we can go Flapple, Knockout, Flapple, Ping, and we'll get 2 prize cards. Great Catcher, bring up this today, knock that out. We keep our opponent bench locked, which can be a big deal. They don't get to Reset Stamp us to 1, theoretically. If they do play Reset Stamps, that's another big deal. And we're just set up really, really well here. And if they just go for like a knockout on our active here, we can actually even, like they evolved this Victini into the VMAX here. We can still just knock out this Victini VMAX with double Flapple. We got 1 Flapple in hand, plenty of Flapple in the deck, and we have the Turf Field. So I guess we're just going to win here with the KO on the VMAX instead. The other play also works. And you know what? Because I set it up, I kind of want to do that play instead because it is a little bit cooler of a play I set up here to avoid my opponent becoming unbench locked and stuff. So let's go with that play instead here. Apple Drop this Dedenne. Get ourselves some cards to work with. Turf Field out the Flapple again. Flapple here. Ping this Dedenne. And then we have the Great Catcher to get the knockout. So yeah, that's the play we set up to avoid them getting to like a new Victini VMAX, which they didn't even end up doing. They didn't even get to a new Victini VMAX. But and it also avoids us getting stamped to 1 as well. Because getting stamped to 3 is definitely quite a bit better than getting stamped to 1. And we end up with the dub here over the Victini VMAX, which is a really tough matchup. We scrape by on this one, though. The Mew start with the Psy Power was really good. And even though they got that first 2 prize cards on our Crobat, didn't really matter because they didn't pressure our energy, which is the really scary thing when they just get a knockout on our Sableye turn 2 through like a boss. That's like the really scary situation that can come up in that matchup. All right, here we go again. We did lose the coin flip. Once again, we're hoping our opponent chooses, there we go, to go first to give us the option. Play a draw supporter on our first turn, which I feel like is just so impactful in so many decks right now in general. And specifically in this deck, I definitely want to use that draw supporter turn 1, get the extra draw going. We don't care if our opponent draws the first prize card. We just want to make sure we can take a prize card as a response to them taking a prize card, which going first definitely opens up a little bit better, or going second opens up a little bit better than going first. This opening hand, not a whole ton of draw power or anything kind of power. It's very not aggressive hand. We need something a little bit more aggressive here for sure. So hopefully our top deck and hopefully the Marnie sees us some good cards. And also we'll see what we're up against here. There's an Rangaroo start for my opponent, so I would guess Mad Party, but we'll see here. A Rangaroo start, my guess would be Mad Party. ADPization is also a fair guess as well. Coalossal could also be, it is the Coalossal. It's been a while since I played against a Coalossal deck. Definitely has been shifted out of the meta, I think, quite a bit with the, Rapid Strike, Single Strike, Urshifu's being fighting Pokemon as well. But I don't think it's dead. I don't think Coalossal's dead. The more I've kind of like considered it being, like, it still seems like it's kind of a solid card. Of course, it's got some rough matchups, but overall, I think it's okay right now. There's a Mew. I'm taking the Mew here. We could even attach, just plan to go with Psy Power next turn, to be honest. And we're going to go ahead and Marnie. Could even hit a switch in Psy Power this turn, but our Applin might be going down. Got a Sableye, got a Flapple, got a Bat. I mean, I don't love losing my Applin, but we're planning to go with Mew next turn. I'll bench the Sableye because if they Marnie us, we wish we had benched it. I could Crobat for 3, but I could go Attach plus maybe play my top deck and then Crobat next turn. If we plant a Psy Power next turn anyways, it doesn't make that big of a deal for me to Crobat this turn, I don't think. And possibly our Applin lives, or they Marty me, and then I really wish I hadn't played the Crobat. But if my Applin lives, then I also get the Flapple down before I would use the Crobat. So that's like another plus right there. So quite a few reasons to not put the Crobat down yet. So we're going to hold off on the Crobat until next turn. We could have gotten Applin, of course, into play, which would have been great. But yeah, can't fully predict the future, so I think this is fine overall. And for Coalossal, we're going to need at least 5 damage counters, but they sometimes play healing, and they also sometimes play, sometimes play the Malolana and the Stone Energy. The Stone Energy can be a little bit annoying as well, so it really depends. Also, buff padding. They sometimes have the buff padding. There's an Eruption Shot. There we go. Goodbye, Applin. You will be missed. You will be missed. I can tell you that much. Now, we are a little bit scared of the VMAX Boulder plus Boss KO Sableye. That would be not good. Give up a Dark Energy. That would be not good, but I don't think it'd be the worst. Ooh, we prized an Applin, actually, which is definitely not good, especially when we lost an Applin. We do play the Ordinary Rod, so we could get the Rod to get it back. Turbo Patch. Hey, love to see it. Throw it to the Sableye. I think I have to Marnie here. Like, I don't want to. They have a 2-card hand, but I'm sure they're not in a completely dead situation. And we need Applins. We need Applins. So let's go find some Applins. Great Ball. Not an Applin. However, this level ball will find us an Applin guaranteed. And then we got Turf Field. We're start using that as well. Getting the Flapples into the hand. I don't think I can evolve any of them. And just go with the Psy Power. 1, 2, 3. And currently 4-5 should get us the KO. But if they get another Stone Energy, we're going to actually need 6 and 7. And there it is. So we're going to need... Oh my gosh. That should still... 6 and 7 should be enough, actually. I was like, oh my gosh, I was getting really... But... yeah, the extra Flapples should be enough here. Extra Flapples should be enough, and that should be more than enough damage. Just Crushing Hammer. Thankfully, we've got the 2 energy on here, though, so even if they get 1 heads, we should be able to pull together another energy to be able to attack. And we have more Turbo Patches left, so we can combat their flips with our own flips to try and get ahead there. Now, the big thing here is going to be getting Applins in play. That's the number one thing we're going to try and do, is getting Applins in play. So we're going to actually use Flapple, Turf Field use Flapple, and then we're going to Crobat before... I might even burn the switch as well. Go like send up Crobat, switch into Sableye. We're gonna burn the Crobat before we or use the Crobat after we use the Flapple, so we can try and draw back into Applins. Not burn the Crobat. We're not burning any Crobats here. Alright, Turf Field, Flapple. Yeah, we're gonna use both Flapples before we Crobat because we want to draw back into those Applins so we can set up more damage. This here, yeah, 7. Yeah, we have to go to 6, 7. We have to go to 6 and 7 here, and that should be enough to get the knockout. Yeah, that's gonna be enough. Yeah, it should be more than enough. That should be way more than enough. No Applins yet. New Sableye is good. Show me an Applin. There's not an Applin. I will take the Sableye and discard it with the research, however. What is our Quick Ball? 3 Quick Ball, 3 Level Ball left. Let's get some more Applins here. Quick Ball, Applin. Love to see it. EXP Share here. Quick Ball and EXP Share, I think, as well. Grab that Applin. Now, the rest of the hand isn't... It doesn't have a whole ton going on, but I think we have more than enough here. We're also going to see 3 prize cards, and a new top deck. So that's plus 4 cards for us to work with as well. So even though there's current 3 cards, it's like, we're getting a lot more to work with here. 3 off the prize cards, 1 off the top deck was going to be more than enough for us to pull something reasonable together. And our board state still is already pretty reasonable. And another thing is, they can't even knock out the Sableye this turn with that Eruption Shot. That is 130 damage. That is it. So we're going to be able to hit this really hard if we want to. And that's probably what we're going to do. We're going to hit this really hard. We're going to hit the Coalossal VMAX just really, really hard. And that's like going to be basically our whole plan this turn. Is just hit the Coalossal VMAX hard and then plan to 2-hit KO it overall. And we'll clean it up next turn. Yep, there it is. The Eruption Shot. It is double Stone Energy, but that's not going to be enough here. Flapple. Flapple. And do some damage. Do some more damage. Quick Ball away the Sableye. Grab myself a Applin, and then we'll use the Turf Field to get a Flapple in the hand. Thins it out of the deck, and then gets it in the hand ready to go. And we can do it again next turn if we want to thin out even further. And I am going to attach to the bench Sableye here because we just want to potentially be able to play around. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, though. I guess there's a reasonable reason to not attach here, because if they go like Crushing Hammer off the active, but I guess they can't KO this Sableye. So they basically have to KO our active Sableye, and then the Sableye just KOs the Coalossal, and we're going to walk away with a dub here. We have 2 boss in hand as well. And I did mention that they do sometimes play healing, but it's usually in the form of Mao and Lana. And here they're playing their Marnie for the turn, so that's already their supportive for the turn. And even if they used Mao and Lana, that would not heal enough damage to protect their Coalossal VMAX from getting KO'd by the Sableye. And there's the concede. They need to get like maybe double Crushing Hammer there. Gives them a chance. We'd still get 1 back off the XP, so we had to whiff energy. And you saw in our hand there, we had the energy. So they were never getting the dub there, pretty much no matter what they drew. And yeah, another dub with the Flapple. And that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and I'll see you tomorrow.